Welcome, everyone. And today I am talking to my niece, Angel, who currently works in a financial institution in Singapore. This is the second installment in the series, The Grateful Immigrant. Let's go. I'm Robert Franco. Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's learn from each other. Let's go. Hello again, and as I've mentioned, today I am speaking to Angel, who moved to Singapore from Manila in 2016. Currently, they are here in the United Kingdom, particularly in London, for their honeymoon. So I thought I'd ask her a favor by doing this for the channel. Hello, Angel. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me today. How are you?
Oh, good. Loving the weather.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the British weather.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad you're good and I'm glad you're enjoying your stay here. So, anyway, tell me about yourself. Where you studied, what you did when you were working in Manila before moving to Singapore.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, yeah, I actually studied in UP School of Economics. So, of course, when I was there, I took a degree in business economics, and because I really loved the study. So then I was working in a bank in Manila doing risk management. So that's where I learned how to do, modeling and
Yeah,
yeah.
sounds riveting.
Yeah.
And what are you doing today? What do you do now?
Ah, so at the moment I'm working in a bank doing climate risk models.
Mhm.
So similarly, it's really working on how do we help our clients transition to a net zero pathway.
Okay.
Because of the climate change is really on us. So
Yeah.
we're helping everyone hopefully to move to a more greener future.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good, isn't it? And it sounds really interesting. And I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic. It sounds interesting. Um, how did you end up working in Singapore?
So, you know, that time I was just doing my day job as a reporting analyst, and then I suddenly received a call from a friend that they needed someone who would fill up a role in Singapore. And
Suddenly.
yeah,
So like
it's
out
like
of the blue.
yeah, I didn't
Your
even
phone rang and then I need you.
yeah,
Yeah.
like hey,
Yeah.
you wanna
Yeah.
try this? So I said yeah, fine. I mean, just go for an interview, but I didn't
Okay.
really know that it would pan out. So I
Okay.
just went on to the interview, and then yeah.
Was this the same person I spoke to after your wedding?
Oh
The
no,
hotel.
so
That's a different
yeah,
boss. That's a different boss. Okay.
yes.
She had great words for you. Um, and I'm not just saying that because I'm your uncle. I actually spoke to her and her husband. Um, so I imagine Singapore to have quite a multicultural workforce, a multicultural environment. How did you adapt your communication style?
Yeah, well, at first it was really more of listening. So listening attentively as to how, let's say, they would communicate what they want to do, and then asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
Because of course we come from a culture where it's really more apparent.
Okay.
But let's say in Singapore you interact with a lot more people, and of course with the language barrier,
Okay.
you tend to get some information missing
Wrong. Yeah.
or wrong or
Misconstrued.
yes.
Yeah.
So I really have to adapt my communication style with, of course, let's say the context of the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not let's say in a work setting, what's the request like, how do you think they would look at it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What about your working style? Does that tie in?
Yes. So typically some of the departments that I work with would have different let's say goals or different things that they want to view
Yeah.
in terms of a project. So you have to also adapt to that. There's no one form or like one mold that
Of working.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you got different ways of
yes,
working,
because
getting
sometimes
towards
it's
the same goal.
very fast paced or very slow paced, but they have to be very detailed. So you have to also learn how to navigate each project.
Yeah. So it's different for each
Yes.
project, and then you have to then adjust your communication. Must have been quite a challenge.
Yeah.
So, well, when I first started here, so my first week, someone from HR, so I was talking to him, said, "Oh, you sound American." And obviously, I didn't know what to say to that. I just said, "Thank you." He said, "Don't thank me. It's not a compliment." So I can't mention the word that I had in my head. Anyway, so if you like see more of these conversations that I have with the grateful immigrants, leave us a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Do that. So, tell me about your biggest personal challenge working in Singapore. It can be anything.
Okay, so probably working in Singapore, of course, is entails that you have to be away from your family. You have to live alone and fend for yourself. So previously, I was living with my parents since I was working in Manila.
Yeah.
And then
Since birth, really.
yeah, and then suddenly, okay, you need to do all
this
these
on your
things
own.
on your own. You need to do how to learn budgeting. You need to navigate your
Well,
way to
I suppose
work.
the degree in economics help with the budgeting.
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it's waste, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, there are things that you think were important before, but we're
Not
no
so,
longer.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you need to prioritize
Yeah.
which.
Your perspective changes.
Yes, yeah. So, and yeah, of course, because I'm really close with my sisters as well as my parents. So,
Still are.
yeah, so sometimes it really take a toll on me if I'm not with them celebrating birthdays or big occasions.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you sort of, okay, you just do
Never
a
knew
video
that.
call, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I suppose we never really had this long a conversation since you moved to Singapore, and then me working in the UK. It's more like, let's eat here, we eat, and then we say goodbye.
Actually, I was having a long distance relationship with my now husband,
Yeah.
So that was really, juggling work because I usually finish at 6. Then you have to travel, do your own dinner, wash up, do chores, and then get the time to talk with your family if they're still okay to talk to. But
basically, a day in the life of an immigrant worker. Really.
Yeah.
And let me just get some water. Do you want some water?
Yes, please.
So your biggest takeaway from that, so you were separated, you had these emotional challenges. What was your biggest takeaway? What did it teach you?
I think, of course, it taught me. Actually, it allowed me to learn another side of me that I can do this, and I think the key takeaway is that every day is a new day.
Yeah.
And you just have to take it a day by
Day at a time.
Day at a time. Yeah. So of course, in the first 6 months, it was very hard adjusting. Of course, you say, okay, I can do this, but apparently not.
Every now and then you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Can I really do this?
Yes. So, and then suddenly, once you get through it, you feel like, oh, okay, this is how the life here works.
Yeah.
And I can also help my family, or I can give them like presents that I wouldn't have been able to normally buy back home.
Yeah.
So that, of course, helped me see the positive
Which we
side.
just did today, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, talking about challenges during COVID, okay, this is very personal to you. You and I were both marooned in the countries that we work in. Me here, you in Singapore. It was a difficult time, as it was for most, regardless of where you are. But at the time, you had most of your family ill. In fact, hospitalized. But there was like 3 of them hospitalized at one time, weren't they? I remember talking to you quite a bit during that time, we were having regular conversations. How did you get through that? What did you tell yourself to help you get through that?
Well, at that time, it was actually, I think, 3 things at once. So I was working on a very tight timeline for a project.
Okay.
And I was doing my master's, and then the news hit that that my parents were hospitalized. My mom was in ICU. My dad was also receiving intensive like
Therapy,
therapy. Yeah. And my sister had to be brought to like an isolation facility
yeah.
out of
That was
nowhere.
that was surreal, wasn't it?
So
Because they were being picked up from the
yeah,
houses.
yeah, yeah. So at the moment, all I thought was, okay, if I'm here and my youngest sibling was there, I need to figure out a way on how to juggle all these.
Yeah.
But of course, when during the day I talk to them, do some coordination.
Mhm.
But every night I go to the shower and cry, and then it's like juggling that along with masters because I really wanted to finish. It's one of my life goals. So you take each hour very very seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
That okay, by 6 I'm done with work, no matter how many messages or emails I get. It's a hard stop. I need to then talk to my
A
family.
hard stop. That's a good one.
And then after 11 p.m. my classes finish. So
11 p.m.
yeah.
Wow.
And
That
then,
is dedication.
yeah, so and then basically 12 is where I take a rest. So it's really really I like when I see those, when I look back during those times, I feel like I've really stretched myself. But I really like that because I feel like I've never done such, mind juggling or even mentally or physically taking that activity.
Okay.
But yeah, but I think it really also dawned on me like the more important things, that okay, fine, you can earn a lot of money, but the more important things are, family, and making sure that your mental health is okay. Because I myself, I'm really a workaholic at times. But that point really made me, reflect.
Realize, yeah,
Yeah, that
the
no,
important things.
yeah, you can't force yourself to, just work and work and work without having to rest. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. You've recently married Liel. Can we show Liel on camera just very quickly? Hi, Liel. Um, who you met in university back home, and thus the honeymoon here in the UK. And I've had the pleasure of hosting your reception. I'm glad you like. I'm
Yeah.
glad you liked it. Did you like it?
Of course.
Okay. Do you see yourself settling in Singapore?
Yeah, at the moment, because we just got married, we're still going through that chapter, or actually just beginning that chapter. So we are still navigating through things, whether he'll be able to settle in as well, get a integrate into the community. Yeah, so whether he'll find his hobbies or interests in line with what Singapore can offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is still still
Still in the air.
yeah, in the air.
Okay. Okay. And anything can happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will probably be asking this to every guest I have in this series, The Grateful Immigrant. I find it interesting, that's why. And that's probably because it's based on their own experiences, the trials, the troubles that you had to go through, like you mentioned earlier. But if you were to give one piece of advice to anyone moving to Singapore or abroad in general, what would be that advice?
I think have faith in yourself.
Okay.
The reason I give that advice is we usually think that okay, we are living in this environment previously, and all that we can do is mainly confined to that setting. But when you move abroad or anywhere else, or even to a new environment, not necessarily abroad, you'd see a different facet of yourself.
Yeah.
You discover that okay, I'm actually strong at this when I was previously not. Because moving to a different environment sort of pushes you to try things you've never tried before. It
100%.
gives you avenues to explore, which I really appreciate that Singapore has allowed me to do that.
Okay.
I didn't
So
even.
you're a grateful immigrant to
Yeah,
Singapore.
yeah, yes. Well, of course, they gave me the
Opportunity,
opportunity.
yeah.
Yes.
Spread your wings and all.
Yes, I was able to travel to, my favorite city, see the museum, see art.
Yeah.
So
And that's a big part of you as well, isn't it? The
yes,
arts and culture, the music.
yes. So yeah, just have faith in yourself. That sometimes it can get rough.
Yeah.
I mean, really rough. But I think at the end of the day, just take a day at a time. If you need to rest, rest. And then just keep at it.
Have faith.
Yeah.
Amen.
Because, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
Because there's always something
There's no
to
one
discover.
else to have faith in.
Yeah.
Because you're on your own, aren't you?
Yes.
So yeah, just
Yeah.
have to have that belief.
Because of
I
course
agree.
there's also gonna be a lot of helping hands.
Yeah.
When I moved to Singapore, there were also friendly faces.
The artists, the kuyas.
Yeah, and even the locals themselves, they would always want to hear your story, how they can help whenever you get you're in trouble or in need of help. So yeah, I think
I don't see you getting in trouble.
Of course, like
difficulty.
Yeah, because I was suddenly rushed into a hospital, so
that's
you need
true.
to
That happened too, didn't it?
Yeah, so you need to also call some friends that I'm in a hospital, so I need this or that. So and then you'd find yourself surrounded by a lot of helping hands and
find your community.
Yes.
Again, that's something I mentioned in the other video. Well, that was definitely interesting and definitely, worth talking about. Thank you very much. This concludes the episode for the series The Grateful Immigrant. And once again, thank you, Angel. Thank you, Leo, for taking the time despite your hectic honeymoon schedule. I know you've got a lot lined up in the next few days. And thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay? Do that.
Yay.
Thank you very much. And speak soon.